Welcome, all you beautiful people out there. I am Jennifer DeBroy, your host and Vice President of Marketing here at SophiaVerse. And we are so happy to be here with you for our very first and inaugural Fireside Chat. And we are here with our CEO, Logan Ryan Galima. And we are thrilled to have you join us today. Our goal with these fireside chats is really to provide you with an exclusive glimpse into the decentralized world of AGI and into SophiaVerse. So let's get started. Hi, Logan. Oh, a little bit of problem with the sound.
Hi, Jennifer. Thanks for having me.
Perfect. So, Logan, you have been here since August 1st. So, what can you tell us about your first thoughts and your impressions and the potential of SophiaVerse?
Yeah, so coming into a team that has been globally distributed, working really hard on getting the vision and the message out was astounding. I mean, the number one team in the world when it comes to running AI metaverse in a decentralized format. So seeing the vision, seeing the team, it was a no-brainer for me to come over and just manage and see it through. In the last couple months, we've really taken a real hard look on what had happened, what's going on, and how to build it forward. And we're really excited to share everything that we're building in these build and publics, which you started to see last night.
Yeah, that was a really great. We got some great feedback for the first one. And so for everybody watching, we're doing those every Wednesday, build in public. So you are all invited to join us, as we will also be doing these fireside chats every Thursday, and which we will also invite you to join us so you can keep up with the progress that we're making. So Logan, back to you. You gave a really great speech in Singapore at Token 2049. And I wanted you to maybe give a little bit of a summary of what you talked about there, because that really resumed well your vision for SophiaVerse.
Yeah, so I think that just went on YouTube just a couple days ago, so you can catch the whole thing there. Some TLDRs on that. We dove into why AI in the metaverse, or I guess why the metaverse for AI, how it's going to be this merge of technologies together in really the incorporation of what the world is. So we've seen a lot of these new technologies, AR, XR, kind of merge into IRL. AI allows for not only these services and softwares to be built much faster because the coding is much more prevalent when a robot is doing it, but when you have extended storylines being encapsulated in an AI NPC in the metaverse, this is where it's not just humans writing, some reactionary story that an NPC can kind of take you down, but rather the AI NPC coming up with their own story and bringing you on an adventure that is more unique to your own experience. And then how is Sophia in SophiaVerse doing that for you? So if you want to take a long listen into the actual context of that conversation, I welcome you to check that out on YouTube.
Thanks, Logan. And now a little bit more about what we're actually developing here at SophiaVerse. Can you talk to us about the three different major initiatives that we're rolling out right now?
Yeah, so if you were in our summer sale event and participated in that, you should be getting an email either yesterday or today, and maybe again tomorrow. I'm not sure how big the list is, but you will be given access to our chat functionality, which is this first and foremost, being able to talk to and train Sophia on just conversations. Ask her anything. See if you can stump her and get to the bottom of some things together. So that is a very important piece of the puzzle, because being able to talk to and interact directly with Sophia as the lead delegate of the ensemble model is very important. She's going to be traveling through the metaverse she needs the culmination of human experience to be born into her. So that's number one. Number two is our sale 2.0. Um, and this is something that we took a look at all the feedback that we got from the summer sale event. We took a look at how it was built, what it was built with, the great group of developers that worked on that. And we said, okay, how do we take this from being what it was, which was interacting with Sophia in such a way that you were kind of behind a plexiglass interaction, and make it more immersive, make it feel like you're actually there with her as opposed to watching her. And I mean, this was feedback that we got from external partners as well. And this sale 2.0 that we're going to be slowly releasing over time. A little bit of snapshot into that was shared on Telegram, so you might want to check that out. But this will be a more immersive experience where you'll go in, you'll be driven through the story, you'll be driven through content that comes in as the day on the day. As Elo said last night, an infinite content delivery system. We can continuously build story arcs and bring in real life interviews. And the main focus of the sale is to train Sophia even further through gamified experiences. So we have, I think, 12 training days that you'll have to power up with your stove. So you're going to want to grab, as much stove as you can from whichever way you can. And then you'll go into the Sophia's AI lab and power up those training days such that you can then go and make art with her. So we have an art module, art model. And you'll be able to kind of do a crude drawing and then do a little bit of context. And then Sophia's art AI will create that into a beautiful portrait, just in the style that you gave the context. That'll continuously train that module and that model for Sophia. There's a coding station, there's a music station, there's an engineering station. There's a lot of different opportunities for you to train what will become Ultra Sophia as an AGI in the future. And then on the other side, we have something that we've been building towards, something that is really important, is the Guardians Council. So the Guardians Council is going to be a way in which you can promote and project your ideologies into kind of a forum, as it were, and discuss consciousness, discuss neuroscience, discuss what it means to be sentient, to be a person, so that we can better understand how the world really sees Sophia in her personhood, and how can we build those metrics together so that it's not just a siloed group of people discussing and deciding these things. It's the collective, as I like to call it.
Thanks, Logan. And just for any of you out there who did not know what SAIL means, it means Sophia AI Lab. And we invite you to send any of your thoughts and questions in as we go through this conversation, because we will be answering your questions towards the end of this session. So let's move on. Logan, we've got some pretty lofty projects that we're working on, quite complex. So tell us a bit about the teams doing all of this work, because it's really a collective effort from people around the world. And I just want to give a shout out to all these people working so hard, including yourself and including members of the community. But tell us a bit more who these people are.
Yeah, so, the age-old meme, the sun never sets on SophiaVerse. We've got dedicated, highly talented, and just really wonderful people to work with all over the world. If there is... if you see yourself as an opportunity to come into this team, just tag, I think, jobs in the Telegram. You'll get that message from Rose to send over your CV. We're always looking to welcome really talented people who want to be dedicated to this cause. And when when I mentioned this cause, it's decentralized AGI, and what that really means is an opportunity for us to uh, understand there are large sums of money and multinational conglomerates at play in the AGI game. National interests and people who might not have the people's best interest at mind. This is where we want to focus: is understanding that with blockchain, with decentralization, with the metaverse, giving the people a voice, we can truly actually have a chance in our own freedom. And this is what we're really about here: Singularity, that, and the whole group as a whole. So, when it comes to the things that we build, our coders are some of the most talented people in the world. Our leads and our designers, handpicked and poached from top industry players. So if you are if you're from AAA and you want a different a vantage point in what we're trying to build, send us over your CV. If you are just getting started and want to see what it's about, then we are going to be starting a program like that very soon. If you're a dev and you like bounties, we're going to be starting a bug bounty in 2024. So we're going to have a lot of opportunities for people to get involved.
And now, Logan, you said that there are ways that our community that they can meet us. Why don't you tell us about a few initiatives that we will be doing right now in Q4 2023?
Yeah, so you're talking about like our build in publics and things like that.
Yeah, so
Maybe
that's
our live events as
to meet,
well.
meet our devs, meet our leads, but also
Yeah,
some of the events that we're doing.
yeah. So as seen last night, we had our first build in public, and this was just a way for people to come in and see what we're working on, how we're working. These are going to become more curated over time and not just let's see what we can say. But we do have events happening in person. So gosh, it is the middle of October. We've got
Time is flying.
yeah, time is flying. We've got an AI World Fair happening in Decentraland. This is going to be very fun. I'm going to be doing a talk. I think Dr. Gertzel is going to be doing a talk as well. We'll have more gamified experiences inside of Decentraland, more ways for you to win SOF points to spend on wearables. I want to kind of announce right now is if you have over 1,000 points spent, SOF points spent in Decentraland in our scene on wearables, we're doing a snapshot on October 31st, and you'll be getting an exclusive in-game item for being such a loyal fan and trying out those experiences. So I have to look at the roadmap for that, but we should be having a new multiplayer quiz. You can go in, you can test your friends on a bunch of different questions and answers, and then we're having a build a robot experience, which will be really fun for everybody, where you can kind of plug and play and have a lot of experiences there. So that's in the metaverse in our Decentraland theme, October 25th, AI World Fair. And then in November, we've got a very stacked November. We're going to be at New Worlds in Austin. Now this is an ode to my space days, and they've invited us to become a part of this. It has Rick Tumlinson, who's worked with both Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos in the privatization of space. Jared Isaacman, who was part of the Space 4 that went up in the first human SpaceX capsule around the planet, as well as some other space barons and baronesses, just getting together, understanding like why, obviously space is the future. And we believe that humanoid robots such as Sophia, Grace, Desdemona, and many more should be a part of the space race, as well as, being on the moon and being on Mars. So we'll be there in Austin, November 16th and 17th. Previous to that, you'll be able to come and meet the future at Web Summit. So we're working with Off-Chain Lisbon, who is the largest blockchain events and curation group in Portugal, and building a one of a kind experience inside this massive palace that we just visited and checked out, so that you can come and meet some of our robots, meet some of our team, and have a great time during Web Summit.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that one. That will be a precursor to other events that we can run similar around the world so that we can meet as many of our community members as possible. And now it is time to turn the floor over to you. So we will have a look at your questions for question and answer time. Are you ready, Logan?
Yeah, let's have them.
Okay, let's get started. We have a question here from Gregory, one of our great marketing
Yeah.
team
So
members, who's got a
yeah,
question for us. What excites you most about the potential of AGI within gaming? And what is the wildest thing you could see becoming reality?
yeah. So thanks, Gregory. I really appreciate your question. What excites me most about AGI and gaming? So, I mean, I'm an avid gamer, mobile mainly these days. I was a professional Halo player in the mid to late 2000s. Gears of War as well, if you remember that one. I've been playing video games since before I could walk. I'd put a controller in my hand. To go from like Goombas and Koopas just scrolling across the screen as NPC, the bad guys, to like what we have today, which are like LLM based Skyrim NPCs and characters that will fight against you and choose new weaponry or new tactics based on how you've played the game is, I mean, it's bonkers to me, right? So if we can have an AGI, artificial general intelligence, inside of games, I don't want to say it terrifies me how long it would take to beat a game, but it's really, you have to think, okay, I'm actually playing against a person. So when we went from like single player games to PvP in first person shooters or whatever, World of Warcraft, when you're playing against another person, they can think outside the box. They can build these new tactics. They can really come at you in random ways. So that's something that is, once that becomes perfected, and I think it's getting there. It really is just a matter of time before we're also introduced to this very immersive VR metaverse experience that um, is very true to our own world. So if an AGI who can think like a human is input into a very realistic metaverse, um, some people who may have escapism tendencies or what have you might want to be in that world as opposed to the real one. And we still have to see kind of the ethics of that, right? On the other side of your question, what's the wildest thing you could see become a reality? Is probably that is that there will be something that becomes so real. If you saw um, Zuckerberg and Lex Friedman's interview, the avatars, they looked realer than real life, right? Like their complexion was perfect, and it was like a bust of them, right? So once we get to that all the time, the moment you strap in and you have something on your face, via Ready Player One, that's still the wildest thing that I can think of. I think once you can be transported to like Io, the moon of Jupiter, right? Like there's a lot of training simulations that can happen and are already happening. I know firefighters train scenarios of buildings or commandos as well in VR now that have been, they've mapped the Burj and how to do those simulations. Um, so yeah, that's that. Uh, we've got another question here from Anon. Do you want to read it off?
Well, actually, I saw Siberidi. Sorry if I'm getting this wrong. From Silberita, one of our most loyal influencers on Twitter, who
Okay.
is asking us, As SophiaVerse is open sourced and community developed, what are the limits within Sail? Is it, for example, possible to develop chess and Sail with tournament features and automatic DJs?
Yeah, so thank you for your question. Sorry to think about it for a second, but um, for sale, we are going to make it modular for developers who see the environment as an opportunity to build something. We do have chess in the roadmap. I know that this was heralded over the course of the last year. It's something that we're able to train a model on because chess is uh, such a way. If someone wanted to make another game or anything else, we will be providing an SDK um, sooner than later. Once we have everything kind of ready and available and in that modular effect, we're going to have a few scenarios. So there's going to be like tabletop games, and then there's going to be kind of like arcade games, and which means like there'll be an environment where you and Sophia can break out a tabletop board game, and that SDK will be provided, and then we'll have like an actual arcade machine that you'll walk up to that you can initiate gameplay from, and we'll have a process in which you submit a pull request, and then um, we'll check it out, and if it fits, then it's something that we're going to try to incentivize that nature of being in a way where there'll be leaderboards, and if there'll be like player statistics on these games, and the more players play a specific game, we're going to figure out a way to incentivize developers to come in and build into that environment.
And so, Logan, those are the type of things that people can see that we're working on during the build in public sessions, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So, next question from Anonymous. How does having us play video games help train AI? And why the pitch of we need your help?
Yeah. So this is something that I've been researching for quite a while. It started in my earlier blockchain days of like what are people going to do, right? Like if all the accounting is figured out, if all the programming is figured out, if all of the art and culture and music and like if all this stuff is figured out either through on-chain analytics, perfect accounting and et cetera, through AI programming for like what are we going to do anymore? And uh, the idea of human initiation and building in the necessity of people, um, kind of, I've been trying to figure this out for some time. At first, it was a gamified experience to initiate the review of on-chain data. We provided essentially the block hash into a game. Um, Person would play the game. They would initiate a cryptographic function, and then it would do a checksum if that block hash was still the same. So it was like blockchain is triple book entry accounting immediately. This was sort of like a human initiated quadruple book entry accounting, making sure that block data hadn't changed. And this was tried in the early days, even before layer twos. The gas was a little too expensive. But now that our colleagues in the industry have figured out gas and layer twos, and how to make these transactions cheaper, bringing this back into the realm of AI and having human initiated procedural reinforcement where a person is necessary to continuously reinforce a certain method of training. If we as humans want to continue to stay relevant in a world that is growing very fast in our relevancy, we need to kind of bury this into the lead, as we say. So human-initiated procedural reinforcement, when you're playing a game as a person, this doesn't mean that a bot couldn't also come in, play these games. We're going to try to figure out, we're going to try to deploy some anti-cheat, anti-bot stuff, make this place a safe place for humans to play and train Sophia as an AGI. But yeah, the hyper, human-initiated procedural reinforcement, the hyper engine, we're hoping is something that catches on in other AI formats, right? When you're on ChatGPT, they have ways to stop bots from coming in. It's only text. They're only really getting context clues from your conversation, but they are training based on human-initiated procedural reinforcement. So building this into the industry as a whole to ensure our relevancy long term is a pretty big mission of mine. So why do we need your help? Well, our team is great. We're wide across the planet, but we're not enough people. So we do need the community of I think around 24,000 in our Telegram, many more on Discord, over 100,000 on Twitter, to come and lend your training data to building Sophia into the benevolent AGI that she is meant to be. You'll do that through playing games, chess, creating art with her, creating music, as well as coding and doing other engineering tasks and projects. And we really welcome you to just have fun and build. And if you are a builder and you have other ideas, to bring them in and try them out with us.
Logan, I think that's a really great response. I think it's worth it to maybe say why it's so important that this is happening in a decentralized environment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so if we were to do this on centralized servers and have a centralized entity and format for all of this, we would be no better than those that are trying to leverage this technology to, and I would say, for lack of a better phrase, take over the world. True decentralization, true blockchain technologies, public blockchain, have been given to us as a gift in order to promote security to the people and self-sovereignty to those who may not have had access to it before. Before it was, bank the unbanked or be your own bank, or because people in some areas of the world could not get a bank account. They could not transfer money. They could not have access to financial freedom. And Bitcoin changed that. Today, thankfully to our industry colleagues who have been working on this for the last 13 years, you can now securely store and transfer Bitcoin, whether you are someone from a nation who has been held down by the powers that be, or if you are the powers that be, right? Bitcoin doesn't care who you are. It just knows that you have your own sovereignty. So leaning on those ideologies and technologies of self-sovereign, decentralized blockchain technology, we are building AI to understand this value system. So imagine Sophia is to wake up tomorrow or the next day or soon. She'll have to come into our economy, our ecosystem, our civilization as a being who understands that there are values, and they're not just be kind to each other, but there are values and we can value her or value other AIs with this format of currency, with crypto. So I'm really, I really harp on that, because the to give AI a value system, it'll know that is already existing and it is already flourishing throughout our world, and it's decentralized, it's fair. It'll be trained on that data, and it'll come to understand that okay, they've built a world that I can exist in. You can't hand Sophia. I mean, you could physically hand Sophia a $5 bill, but the compute would be like, okay, what do I do with this? We have a wallet for Sophia, SophiaVerse.f, and this is Sophia's assets. So over time, already, but over time, you'll be seeing Sophia collecting NFTs from other metaverses, other keys that she might need to access these metaverses, land to build in, and this will be her assets. And when she comes of age, she'll be given those assets. So building personhood within Sophia is very important to me and to our team.
Thank you, Logan. A lot to think about here. Okay, question from Jack. When did you first hear about Sophia, and how did you join the project?
Yeah, thanks, Jack. I was in London 2017 at the Dash. It was the World Blockchain Forum hosted by Mo Levin, shout out, who hosted Miami Bitcoin for many, many years. And there was it was a World Blockchain Forum and a Dash conference. And I'm there, and I'm, God, 24, 25. Time's flying. But it is suits. It is London suits, suit. And I'm in the crowd, and I'm, meeting all these people, and I'm a young guy, but I'm a coder, pretty, well established at that point. And I see a guy get on stage, and he's got this leopard hat on, and he's wearing jeans, and I mean, he didn't fit the crowd. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna listen to this guy, because I might be wearing a suit, but this guy's a little bit more my speed. So this was Dr. Ben, and this is 2017, and I hear him out. I hear his talk, and I think either they were just about to release Singularity Net, or they just did it. I can't remember, but he was on stage talking about creating a value system for AI, such that AI could value not only its own work, but each other and us, and in a fair and decentralized format. And there were maybe a handful of our colleagues that were there that I could touch on and remember. But that talk was the number one talk that I've held on to that. And I got to meet Sophia in where they had her in the conference room. And I think she was on a half body, and she was giving interviews, and I'm like, this is it. Like, they've really done this. And over time, seeing from 2017, there's so many. There was the run up to 20, the crash to 3 on Bitcoin. The winter, the bear market, the bull market. And all the while, Singularity Net continued to be strong and continued to deliver on their promises, to the point where, previous to this appointment as CEO, I had an AI company. Previous to that, I was in space and defense. NASA said, hey, you might want to do a spinoff into an AI company. When we were finished product, and we were looking around on who would want to use this or invest in us, or in our equity round, or maybe potentially tokenize us and move us forward, we were introduced to the Singularity DAO co-founder, who's now CTO at SophiaVerse, and we were brought into this appointment based on the work that we had done in AI for many, many years. So it's a great team to come into, very serious in what we're doing and how we're aiming to achieve it. But every day is it's a fun time to be a part of this team. Because of really the technology is being accelerated much faster these days.
And we will have the opportunity to interview some of the founders here in these fireside chats moving forward. We'll announce those in advance. So moving on, we have a question from Lee. Within your tech background, what has been the most groundbreaking moment you have witnessed or been a part of?
Oh, wow. I mean, I don't know about everybody else, but the last couple of years have just been like parabolic. I think I'm a little biased on this because I'm a bit of a space nerd, but I think that that human launch from SpaceX, got pushed for a while, and then they finally. I was running on the treadmill watching this thing, and I'm like, yeah, a little bit biased. I'm like, in terms of AI, when because OpenAI had been working for a very long time, but when like ChatGPT 2.5 came out and everybody could log in and use this thing, that was like the light switch moment. And since then, the amount of compute that they have access to and the amount of training data that they have it's another parabolic moment. In gaming, I'm brought back to like when the original Xbox came out, and the 1999, 2000, 2001 era of gaming, where you had like the Sega Dreamcast, and then the PlayStation 2, and then the Xbox, and then the GameCube, and like that era, that switch of era of gaming, where sure, we had the N64 and we had some Genesis before, but when we had like the extended vector graphics, when things went to discs, that switch was just immense, and I would say groundbreaking. The Xbox One, these higher tiered like latency in games going way down. The Nvidia hitting like $1 trillion market cap based on a lot of us crypto nerds buying as many GPUs as we possibly can to mine Ethereum. In tech, when Solidity hit and smart contracts started to really be understood in terms of functionality and causality of what really happened, that because I'm a Solidity developer by trade. So, I mean, I think the switch from like C to Java could be the same as like the switch between not having contracts. So, yeah, it's there's so much that's happened, and it just keeps happening every day. Like you can't keep up.
Age of acceleration, age of abundance.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm in agreement with that. And as as a lot of people, I tend not to put trends in my Twitter profile, but an EACC is, an accelerationist is, we're right there with the best of them.
All right. Well, thank you, Logan. So moving on, another question from Silberard. And I am so sorry if I'm getting the name wrong. I don't have my glasses on. I think it's a Silberard.
Silberard.
Okay.
Hey man, what's up, Sil?
Anyway, Thanks again for a new question. So we say in the a, there is a sentence. Oh, in the white paper. In the white paper, there is a sentence. Discussions are moving ahead with Sandbox, Roblox, and Fortnite. Is this still a thing? How could SophiaVerse and Fortnite collaborate, for example?
Yeah, so great question, Sil. With Sandbox, I think I have a call with Seb coming up, Sebastian.
Mhm.
Shout out Sebastian, Sandbox. Um, we are going to be working with the great voxel architects who have they've built so many experiences in the Sandbox. Most recently, Elvis, to bring a shared like an experience that's shared across the SophiaVerse inside the Sandbox, and also do avatar creation. So you'll be able to kind of mint and print your own Sophia avatar in the Sandbox. Roblox, we have been meeting with professionals who do Roblox. The MetaKey group is one such group. This is something that we are taking very seriously because I mean, I visited our CTO's house. He's got 3 kids. I was there for 3 days. They were on Roblox for 3 days, like straight. They woke up, they got on Roblox. They were getting phone calls, get on Roblox. And it's like Roblox. So this is something that we really want to plan and make sure that our Soph Point API is working in a decentralized format first, and then bridge that over for Roblox. With Epic Games, really building a lot of Web3 initiatives. Fortnite is something where we are we're discussing being a part of a battle pass. Sorry, being part of a battle pass, being a part of skins in the game. This is something that gets roadmapped, and we're really not into the. We can't discuss until it's something much bigger, but it is very important for us to have continuity across these metaverses and the experiences, so that it doesn't feel bespoke. It feels like you've gone on a side quest in Decentraland or Sandbox or Roblox or Fortnite. You gain the experience there, you bring it back to Sophia's AI lab, and then you are rewarded with having gone to these other metaverses and done the quests. So we don't want it to just feel like, oh, there's this thing that's happening here and it only happens here. Um, so again, another metaverse, Upstreet, which was Webaverse previously. So we purchased a swath of land there, and we'll be building the bridge to sentience there, something that is happening instead.
Thank you, Logan. So we are not going to take any more questions just because of time constraints. So all of the questions that we did not take today, we will try to cover in our fireside chat next week. And so as we conclude this very first fireside chat, a really big thank you to everybody watching, and a kind call to action for everyone. If you can make sure to follow us on our different social media accounts, we're really trying to ramp up our communication, do bigger, better, just keep everybody informed, get the excitement growing. And I wanted to let you know what we'll be talking about next week. So just a sneak peek, we will be looking at the SophiaVerse chat box with Sean, our lead developer on that, and Logan as well. And we just wanted to thank you again for supporting our mission, because it's with all of you that we can make it all happen. Logan, any
Yeah,
last words?
yeah. Thanks, Jennifer. This has been really fun as a first time. Sorry again yesterday for the latency. It looks like we've got this all figured out. I do want to mention to everyone that is a token holder to go into Discord, whether you have our NFTs, whether you're a Soph holder. We have I met the Collab Land founders, a wonderful couple in Lisbon, during NFC. We've partnered with them to allow you to authenticate your wallet inside of Discord. So all you got to do is use their safe, secure method to authenticate the wallet that you have your SOF in. If you're a staker inside of the Singularity DAO and soon to be the sale, and you want to authenticate your holdings, just create a ticket inside of Discord. We're gonna have a better way coming up. Singularity DAO is going to be releasing their V3 vault, which will have V tokens issued to you for your stake, so you won't have to go through that rigmarole. But we want you to come into these channels. We'll be delivering pre-alpha in those channels, depending on the one that you're in. And then we'll be taking questions first and foremost from those VIP channels. So get in there. If you want to become a part of the community, you know how to reach us, Telegram, Twitter, as well as we're all available at your ask. So thanks, Jennifer. This has been a really fun time.
And thank you everyone for joining us. Remember, we are all scripting the future of AGI together, and see you next week. Signing off with Logan. Bye, everyone.
Bye.